Hey, Eurovision fam, it's Alesia Michelle. I am so excited today because I am going to be here with Lesley Roy, Ireland's representative for Eurovision 2021. I'm so excited to have you. And, you were one of our returning acts from Eurovision 2020. I mean, can you just tell me a little bit about the waiting game of figuring out if you were going to be at Eurovision 2021 or not?
Well, first of all, hello, and thank you so much for having me on. And thank you for the support. Thank you for reaching out to us. I have been so excited for this chat, so thank you. A little bit about the whole waiting game. Well, and I think I've been a little bit vocal about this in some interviews. Once everything got cancelled, myself and Michael Keeley, our head of delegation, had a very straight up conversation that we both are very aware that this is the Eurovision Song Contest. So there needs to be a song. And I was very adamant that, even though there wasn't this on the table, but I didn't want a sympathy vote and a card straight back in. This is all about there being a song. So I wanted to, when I could safely go and get into the studio and try and find that, then we would have that conversation. Now, yes, for people, if you've all watched the journey, that took many, many months to get there. But once I did get maps and I could take it back, it definitely relieved a lot of the anxiety and pressure in and around that. But yeah, it took from, it being cancelled in March to finalizing a demo of maps in October. And then, we knew that we were going to go ahead with it, but we didn't announce anything until much later in the press. But yeah, it's been a journey.
Well, so thank you so much because it was well worth the wait. Maps is an amazing song. And I'm a little bit curious if you could tell us about the creative process. Did you sort of have a prompt in front of you of I'd like to write something about this, or did it just kind of organically come? What was the process like in sort of the birthplace of Maps?
Great question. Well, as a songwriter and a top liner, I gather concepts and melodies every single day as I go. So I've had Maps as a title for a long time, for a few years, and I've never been able to make it work. So it's been a title that has sit in my back pocket. And when I started all the sessions, it was a title I kept coming back to, and it never quite fit in anything because in doing all the sessions, I tried a lot of different styles. I tried some ballads, I tried some big hard European EDM, electronic thing, all things that I thought with my little bit of experience going through 2020, I thought would be good on the Eurovision stage. So I wanted to go through all of the boxes before I got to Maps. And it did take me a while, and it was kind of in and around the searching for Maps and the anxiety and feeling lost with not knowing, because I was trying so many different things, who I actually was trying to be, that I did get to the birthplace of, well, that is it. The song that I'm trying to write is what the song is about. So the creation of Maps is what Maps actually is. But it's also a little bit of, I felt once we got it and we wrote it, that a lot of people could connect to it on a lot of different levels, as in the year that we've all spent kind of having to take this inward look at who we are, who we've become, who we may have lost, or who as a person or a sense of home that we might want to get back to. So it was a combination of everything that was going on in the world outwardly, and then also just myself sitting down and looking at, what is my true sense as a person and my true self as an artist.
Well, so I have to say, when I first listened to Maps, I don't know if it made me cry, okay? And I'd like to think that I'm not that emotional of a person, but the song really did hit me and I connected with it. And I'm not Irish, I'm not European, but I could find myself and see myself in the lyrics. What has it been like sort of watching all of these people's reaction to your song that does feel so personal to you?
Yeah, it's amazing. And I'm thinking of your reaction. I'm going back to the video and it's making me get all turned up again. And I think anytime as an artist that you can touch somebody, one person, even in the way that you reacted to it, and then having watched that that was kind of the general reaction to Maps. I have to say it went down really, really well. So I think anytime as an artist that you can touch somebody, with your piece, with your painting, with your song, with a poem, then I think we've done our job. So it's been absolutely like gorgeous to watch people react to it in the way it felt to write it, if that makes sense. I mean, sometimes if you write a great song and you love it and you see people dancing to it or singing along to it, that's a great reaction. But this has been very unique in that people are reacting to it like your reaction in the way it felt for me when I wrote it. So it's kind of this cool mutual thing that I feel like I have now with many people. It's cool.
So even though this song is deeply personal to you, and since you were going to be at Eurovision 2020, I have a question. So, and I ask a lot of folks this question, but basically my question is, if you could steal a song from another participant, and you can pick two, so you could do a 2020 song or a 2021 song. And of course you're stealing it and putting your own spin on it, kind of giving it the Lesley Roy twist. Whose songs would you steal?
Oh my gosh, that is such a good question. I feel like I'm gonna need to take 20 minutes and take a cup of tea and go back through all the songs. Okay, so from last year and this year, is that together? Whew.
Or you can pick a 2021 and then pick a 2021 one.
Oh, you're really stumping me. Now I'm like blanking on everything. You know what? I really love Embers. I'd love to give that, like, because I fall in between many different genres, and this has kind of been hard in my career because I love so many different styles of music. But I love James and I love Embers, and I'd love to really pop it out and play that one. And then 2020, I'm forgetting my own name. I cannot even think of anything about 2020. I'm gonna have to come back on that one.
We'll give you time. You can always let us know later on the gram, something like that. So yeah,
perfect.
We've all been kind of stuck in the house, you know, the pandemic happened. And so my question is, outside of making music, have you picked up a new hobby? Is there something that you've like discovered you really liked during the pandemic? Yeah.
I think my hobby has been the Eurovision for the past 12 months. If I'm not like working on it, I'm actually trying to find like new fun things about it. But no, I think I was like those people in the early days of lockdown who I used to paint a lot anyway, so I've kind of gotten back into a little bit more of the painting and the coloring side of things. So I went down that path of Amazoning way too many craft things, like a lot of people. And there were some other weird hobbies there for a while. Oh, I was going to do some knitting. That came and went very quickly, like the space of a week. But it was more some crafty things, I think. What, did you pick up any strange hobbies?
Well, Eurovision is probably my number one hobby, so we have that in common. I think I did do some of the coloring. I don't know, but I spent most of the pandemic, I guess I was like pregnant, and then I had a child. So then my child was my hobby.
Yes. Yeah. I will never let her hear those words. She's not a
right.
hobby.
I'm like, that was, I guess, the thing I was doing, but maybe also like researching things ad nauseum, like for parenting things, different tools, different gadgets. And I've probably bought a ton of things that I didn't really need to have as a parent. Because like with babies, all you need is like a box and food and a bed, you know, and the box she can just play with all day long. All day long, she can play with the box. So I am, an American Eurovision fan. So it is my mission to try and get more Americans to watch the Eurovision Song Contest. So I'm going to give you 15 seconds. You could take a little bit longer than 15 seconds, but you don't have a minute. And you just had the opportunity to sit and talk to an American and basically tell them why they should watch Eurovision 2021. What would you tell them?
Okay, before you start the clock, though, I will say this. As a person who has lived in the States for the past 12 years, I have had to have this conversation many times. So now you can start the clock. Here we go. The Eurovision Song Contest, guys, it's bigger than the Super Bowl. I know you might be shocked by that anything is bigger than the Super Bowl. It is. It is the most historic musical show in the world. Every country competes. It's like the Olympics, but for songwriting. Watch it.
That is probably the best pitch that I have had so far. I don't think that anyone could refuse that pitch to watch Eurovision 2021. Okay, well, now that we're talking about Eurovision 2021, I know you can't tell us everything, but can you give us a little hint or a nugget about maybe the styling for the performance in the Netherlands? Maybe just a hint. I know you can't tell us everything.
I feel so bad rejecting everybody on this. It's like I'm going on dates and I'm saying, no. Look, I can say this, and I have said it. It's going to be different for Ireland. It's going to be different for the Eurovision stage. And I will have never performed in this way ever before.
I will accept that. I will accept
that.
Thank you so much.
I'm holding my breath.
I totally accept that answer. I know you can't give us a ton, but we're just like itching for it. We didn't have Eurovision last year, so we're like extra deprived this year coming into the song contest. But I have to say thank you so much for Maps. It's an amazing, amazing song. Ireland should be proud. I think they're already proud. And we're all going to be rooting for you in the Netherlands. Eurovision 2021, thank you so much for talking with me today.
Thank you so much. Mwah.